he was taking pictures in the middle of the street, and police ran up on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like ICE was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But man, he had his credentials with him. So.
Yeah, his papers. He had his papers. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we talking about in the famous words?
Yo!
All right. Just brave.
That's why he left. He had to go get the roll up.
Yeah, I had to I had to get my internet right too.
Oh, dope.
Y'all couldn't even hear me till I said something, or y'all couldn't see me?
Nah, it said that you had left.
Oh yeah, well I'm back. What's going on?
What you got over there, man? What we doing over there?
What do I have over here? I have some green cookies.
Mm.
Not even green cookies. This is goddamn, I can't remember. This is the Blue Dream.
Okay.
Green cookies, and I can't remember what the last one is because
Ben got a boom buffet.
I done ate some Sweeter Highs and
oh shit.
Really, Meta? Meta's got to have me in the background already.
That pretty much just started it.
He never took it down.
I see he's wearing a hat. He's wearing a hat. Thank God. Look at this guy with the
hairline is.
Oh.
That's not a hairline. That's a fucking rooster tail.
Happy 420 to all y'all.
Happy 420. Oh,
Ben. Wait a minute. You're not supposed to eat that much, bro.
That's a little bit.
Yo, Ben put that whole
Ben's head is going to become that Salem fan, you know?
Ben just put the whole pack in his mouth, like.
Nah, pause.
Pause for putting the whole package in your mouth. For sure.
Surely.
That was a late pause, though. Can I tell you something? If a pause is too late, it doesn't count.
It's expired.
Right. So, thank you.
So Pete Dallas, let's just put this out there right now. Like, what is the allotted time frame from the time of the
infraction
to the time where it has to be pointed out that it's a pause?
Like, you can't do this.
Classic 5-second rule. Classic 5-second rule.
So 5 seconds, no more.
Yep. 5 seconds. Peace, Celine. What's up? What up, Celine?
Yeah, what's up, Celine?
Bye.
Say 5. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to even say, because especially on 420 version, people on delay, I'm going to say 10 seconds the most. Because sometimes people, their brain takes a little process. You know what I mean, DP?
So then,
they may,
rule-wise, 420 gets an exemption. You get an exemption on the classic 5-second rule.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, you get an extension.
Extension, not exemption.
Nothing wrong with an extension. Pay good money for that. Pay some money getting an extension.
Yo, low key, Pete got a hairline, man. He got a hairline. Yeah, he good.
See, I got mine. I like the progress of the beard, Dallas.
Yeah. Yo, you might have to keep that.
I like how you're doing it, Pete, because I feel like you're not ODing with the Beijing. You just using it in little zones.
You talking about Beijing? I never use that shit ever. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna listen, Pete. You can't let them grades come in if you're gonna try to, sell to the little kids. All right, what you gonna sell to the little kids?
Audience.
Yo, you can't be like Khaled out here. Khaled out here, man. Khaled out here went and became fucking op from the corner shop.
Yo, did y'all ever get something from Herbots? Y'all remember this?
No. What is that?
Yeah, these guys, they were a supplier, or not supplier, but a what's the word? Supporter of Fambro Show back when we were Fambro Show. They actually gave me a box.
What is that? K2?
Oh, they were one of the few supporters. I'm glad you had somebody.
Facts. I don't think they're in business anymore either.
I'm playing. I love what you've been able to do. You know?
Yo, can I tell you something? Meta, if they'd have gave us K2, I'd have fucked with it.
What is K2? Like, what do they know?
Plastic. It's gasoline infused plastic on a little green leaf.
Yeah, I think it was leaves and they sprayed shit on it. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's what That's how Nori lost all that weight, right? He was smoking K2 blunts.
Right, yeah. Yup. Yo, speaking of K2, like, yo, a great 420 recollection for me was being down in Miami, man. They used to have this convention called How Can I Be Down? And if you've been to Jack the Rapper or A3C or any music convention, you already know what it is. So tons of fuck shit going on. We're in the suburbs of Miami. Some basketball game. Fat Joe. I'm hyped now because I'm hanging with Fat Joe. Fat Joe is the mayor of Miami.
What year was this for you, Dallas?
This is, I'm going to say, this is 92. No, past that. 94. 94, 95. 94, 95. 94, 95.
When Fat Dallas hanging? Was it Fat Dallas at the time?
What?
Fat Dallas.
Not Fat Dallas. I was still young. I was only 24. Yeah, I was only I hadn't fully gotten to my 30 swole. But I'm hanging with Fat Joe, and he's the mayor of Miami. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never seen, even in New York, somebody get that kind of adulation. As we drove around with him, everybody was hollering at Fat Joe. The grandmas were fucking with Fat Joe. Like we're going to the neighborhoods, and everybody's like, oh, Fat Joe. They're running out to the van. So I'm like, yo, I'm hanging with a larger-than-life celebrity. I ended up in the Fat Van Joe. Oh, you know why? Because I had the camera. I was running around and trying to record and videotape shit with a camera. This is before Big Pun came out, because the dude I'm with who brought me to Fat Joe, Joe said, yo, I got something for you, man. His name is Punisher. Yo, he's going to change. This is before Pun came out. What year is that? That's 94. That's 95.
So you look at 93?
Before Pun came out, because Joe was telling my man, like, yo, I got something for you. It's called Punisher. Nobody is fucking with him. Nobody. And I have this on camera. I'm hanging with Fat Joe. He is the mayor of Miami. So I ended up in his van. And, some dudes in the back had rolled up, and they was getting ready to smoke. And Joe was like, yo, you smoke? And I'm like, yeah, I smoke. He's like, nah, do you smoke? And I'm like, yeah, I smoke. He said, no, do you smoke? I'm like, yeah, I smoke. Joe was like, all right. Joe didn't smoke. I smoked with these two, like, fucking wiry, Colombian looking, like, I say Colombian, like these niggas might have been Nicaraguan or something. You know what I mean? These niggas was like, they was Costa Rican. You know what I mean? Shouts to Sean P. They wasn't Puerto Rican, but they was Costa Rican. They was definitely
almost there.
Variation of Rican. You know what I mean? They was Costa Rican. And they was smoking, and I smoked with them dudes, man. And yo, I got fried green tomatoes. My whole head, my whole cranium was gone. And we down on Collins in Miami, heart of South Beach. And I get out of the van with Joe, and then Joe get in a beef with some California niggas. This was the East Coast, West Coast beef time. So they get in a beef, and I'm like, yo, this is the wildest shit ever. But then my head just starts ringing crazy. And then teeth start coming out of people's mouths. I caught a bad one. And internets, never break the golden rules. Don't smoke nothing you didn't watch be rolled. Don't smoke nothing you didn't watch be rolled.
But he warned you.
You never know what's in it.
It got rolled off site. Don't fuck with it.
Him asking you if you smoke multiple times. That was him trying to see where you at with it, cause
that was him trying to make me safe.
To waiver, like, yo, you better bow out, cause
that was that without question.
Tomato.
Without question, Joe.
Dallas. Yo, why did A-King look like Kool Moe Dee?
Yo, this is the second episode within the first 5 minutes. You watching what I'm doing?
He's got cataract glasses on.
It's cool, Multi. It looks like you got HBO in them glasses.
Keep playing. I got something for you. Keep playing.
Old people. You see those old people that got those big glasses? They got satellite, direct TV in them.
The second rule, all right, internet's when you're getting high, don't get high with the folks that's not your crew. And I say this because, you know, if there's no crew love, if they don't love your mother,
yeah, that's true.
Nigga, they don't love you. They don't respect your mother. They don't love you. All right? And then the third rule, I'm gonna add a third rule. Don't be no fucking fuck boy groupie. You know what I mean? Keep your head with you.
Well, right? Dallas, let's speak about the new 420 because the new 420 could consist of smoking blunts to the head.
It definitely does.
Joints to the head. And like, yo, let me pass that now, my man. I don't know where you've been.
See ya.
You know,
not happening.
You don't want that
I'm sharing.
No.
Nah.
Crack. There we go.
You see my virtual crew right here? This is what I'm smoking with these days.
That's a good bowl, Dallas. What's in that bowl?
Just some organic. CBD.
Basil. Man, yeah, I seen Ada Emperor Woolly blunt. You know, for those people who may not know, I remember back in the day, especially when Wu-Tang came out, and when they were like, smoke a Wu, since 16, the combination of cracks and weed, the combination made my eyes bleed. You know what's crazy? I remember at that time, hustling. You know, obviously everybody always looked at crackheads as a bad thing. Meanwhile, there's a lot of dudes smoking crack and weed.
Yep.
Real talk, sometimes when and these are like established dudes in the street, in neighborhoods of where I grew up in, people who have money. But more importantly, there were times where you couldn't find the weed guy. So the wool became tobacco and crack. All right? And these weren't crackheads I'm talking about. You know, but wolves were a very big thing, especially where I grew up. I mean, Dallas, I don't know if you remember the time, and Ben Hameen, I'm sure. May be a little bit.
Premium, you ever smoked wool?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
The ash was like this big.
More than once?
The ash was like this big. Yo, I never forget. The ash just wasn't ash. You know what I mean?
More than once?
Oh, I might have smoked some shit like that then.
A couple of times. How about this? The sickest thing I ever did. And mind you, let me just be honest with the whole internet. This is the craziest thing. I stopped smoking weed when I was 17 years old. I started when I was 13. I've only smoked 3 times since then. So meaning like that's like 25 plus years. I've only smoked 3 times. You remember the time with where we went dancing with the soul clap shit. And maybe like one time with my man Backdoor Isaiah because he was like he really
Shouts
wanted
to Backdoor.
Backdoor.
That door.
Wow. But I stopped smoking at 17 years old. I'm dead serious. But I smoked a bunch of different, weed and a bunch of different woolies. But yeah. Oh, the craziest thing I ever did was this. We smoked a wooly. What we did was there was like we put like it was called like a Godfather. We put like a 50 piece in the middle. Right, so you're smoking a wool, got weed on the way down on the blunt, a big amount of sprinkle on the top, you know what I mean? And then once it was rolled, this fat blunt, this woolly blunt, okay, dipped it in diesel. Remember diesel back in like dust, you know what I mean? But the liquid kind, okay? So then we called it space base, okay? I don't know if people remember. Space base. Yo, let me explain something to you. I smoked that thing, and passed it around. That night I got locked up. I was found in a stolen car, okay, with keys.
Shit.
With keys, I was found. I'll never forget. I was at a light. I was at a light in Bay Parkway in Brooklyn, and it was like one of those 6 8-way lights. And dudes from Brooklyn, we all, in New York, we always look to see when the light's turning yellow, but you can misguide it. So I thought it was turning yellow, and I thought it was my turn, but it was really the other intersection's turn. So I'm edging like this, and I'm all high on space base. Who's behind me? Cops. As soon as that light turned green, I started moving. They pulled me over. I'll never forget. They told me, like, where's your license and registration? I was like, bro, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, I had no idea what was going on. I remember them throwing a football off my head. Just like, and then I remember, I'll never forget, this is where I felt bad for Papa Premium. They put me in the precinct cell. And apparently what happened was a customer gave me their father's car for 2 pieces. And I was driving around in it. So it really didn't get down as like a stolen. He said his father didn't know. You know what I mean? So I wound up getting out, but my father came to the cell.
So you wasn't stolen?
And he looked at me. It was the kid stole it from his father. I didn't steal. I bought it for 2 pieces, you know?
Can a kid steal it from their parent?
I mean, yeah, if their parents call the cops and say my car is stolen, you know what I mean? But let me tell you, Papa Premium, I feel bad for him. I'm glad I was able to make him proud. He came in the holding cell, and if anybody's been in a holding cell in a precinct, it's totally different. And he came in the holding cell. I remember him being there. And guys, I promise you, I didn't even know what the fuck he looked like. He started like, he was like, because I was so high, and he was like disappearing. He was coming back. His head was on his fucking leg.
What did he tell you?
And he was like, and he said, look at you. Look at yourself. And I said, Dad, I don't even know what you're talking about. And he goes, I'm very disappointed in you. I says, to be honest with you, I can't even see you right now. So you could tell me tomorrow what's the problem. And he was like, he was upset with me. He was like, you know,
it's a beautiful snapshot of Premium Pete. Been a fucky bird for a long time. Classically wrong and long. Pause.
Whoa.
Pause.
Whoa.
I was within the window. But he been wrong for a long time though.
Yeah.
13 years old.
Yeah. 13 years old.
You was a fucky bird before that even though, Premium. Like you was at the store stealing candy.
Oh yeah. Stealing now ladies.
Yeah.
Stealing pop rock.
Because you got a bunch of sisters that's older than you.
Yeah. My sister. Actually, that's how I got introduced to weed. What happened was, I'll never forget the girl. This girl had a Mitsubishi Eclipse, my sister's friend, and she was taking us for a ride. She forgot something, went back into my sister's house to go get it, and for some reason, you know, sticky hands, Brooklyn dudes, we were in her glove compartment. And in her glove compartment, she had a little like Ziploc bag with about like a dozen rolled joints. So I took 2. I figured she wouldn't realize 2 were missing. And we took 2, and it was the first time. It was me and my friend, I'll never forget, redheaded cat, not Matt Raz. And I'll never forget, we smoked it. It was the first time. Yeah, it was the first time I was laughing like crazy. Like I missed that high. Like I wasn't like, see now I don't like to smoke because I hallucinate. But back then, Dallas, everyone listen, like yo.
See, internets, didn't I tell y'all the classic rules? You don't never smoke nothing you didn't watch roll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know, you didn't know what you had right there. You knew you had some, and you didn't care. Now, let me ask you a question, Pete. What was your sister that's closest to you in age? How much older is she? 10 years older than you?
She is 6 years older than me.
6 years older. So, 6 years. So that's just the beginning. That's a nice split. That's not a crazy split. But yeah, so, you know, she's 16, 17. You know what I mean? You're a 10-year-old, you know, out here just trying to figure your way out in the world.
For me, my sister was 5.5 years older, but I didn't start smoking until I was like 16.
Yeah.
The same thing. And then I went and visited her at Hampton, and that was it for me.
Oh, snap. Your sister went to Hampton, bro?
Yeah, son.
What year she went to Hampton?
I think I've asked her about you before.
Oh, wow. What could have happened?
You definitely know.
No, because Ben looked Eritrean.
My sister
so like
Eritrean. She graduated high school, what, 88?
Uh-huh.
Yep,
yeah.
88. She knows, she knew, rest in peace, she knew one of the cats who got killed at City College when Puffy threw the party.
Yeah.
Cat who had gotten shot like the year before, which was even crazier.
She was at Hampton, but the whole Va Beach area was a bunch of cats from my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
That was in that area.
She probably knew him because my sister, you know, she was a wild.
Yeah. They're not even in the country no more, man, because they weren't born here in America. But they, once 9/11, the law passed, man, and they got freed.
Was that Mr. Morrow?
Look like a
man. Mr. Morrow looked like he looking at the coronavirus. Yeah.
That was the same time when I first started burning it. But I'm like
16 years old. Actually, let's go around, Dallas. You say, how old were you when you first time you smoked?
18.
Damn, that's a long time, man. You were a good young boy.
Yeah.
No, first of all, let me say something. Real quick, internets, man. Yo, shouts to Mr. Penn. When I went to the school in Brooklyn Tech, Mr. Penn sold. He was a spirits distributor.
Nice.
And what he did was he sold spirits in a major part of the city.
Liquor?
Yeah, liquor.
Like liquor stores? Okay, yeah.
Liquor stores. So he picked me up from school, and I have to use that to sit in the car while he ran around and did his work. So that's how I knew how to drive everywhere. When we started stealing cars, we were 16. I knew everywhere how to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Every highway. But listen to this though. Listen to the fly shit. Mr. Penn gave the liquor store near Brooklyn Tech, the ones in the area, a picture of me. And was like, yo, if you ever see this kid, you know what I mean? And some of them put the picture up, but I went to a shop and the dude was like, yo, you're Mr. Penn's kid. And I was like, I was trying to buy some Cisco. I was trying to buy some dumb shit or whatever. Yeah, or Mad Dog. Trying to buy Mad 19, whatever it was. Some dumb 80s shit. And the dude at the counter was like, yo, you're Mr. Penn's son. And I was like, and I just ran out of there. I was like, yo, I'm out. Yo, when I got to being an adult later on, he told me what he had done. He told me that he had put those pictures around it. Dude was a genius.
Yo, that's a beautiful thing. So, what about you, man? When was the first time you smoked weed?
I think I was like 16. How old are you when you were a sophomore in high school? Like 16?
Yeah.
14.
Yeah, sounds about right.
15, yeah. 15, 16.
Yeah,
around that time.
Same.
Around that time, some crazy Filipino kids that my cousin introduced me to. And I think they were doing some like nefarious type activities with USPS in California. And then the crazy thing is like they all became cops when they graduated college.
That's wild. Yeah, you know what's even wilder too, DP, and obviously everyone listening and watching, the stigma on weed. Like I remember when I was growing up and I would smoke, I was 13, 14, 15. I remember like the wording around was like weed would make you lazy. People would become lazy, you know, not want to do a lot of things. And I felt some of that. And it's crazy to me as I got older to realize how creative things in this world we have received, music and brands from people smoking weed. I mean, think about it. You know, it's not what people thought. Like back in the day, I still think it has a stigma where people think like you're kind of like something like you're lazy or, you know, or it's a drug that like, you ever heard, I'm sure, I mean, you're old enough where people would say they smoke weed and they get like at it, like they don't perform as much. Back in the day.
There've been all kinds of campaigns against marijuana, man. There was a movie like from the 40s called Reefer Madness.
Yep.
People smoked weed and became vampires. What happens to them? They become vampires or something like that? Or zombies?
All kind of shit. They had black men raping white women, but the real shit was that weed was outlawed because DuPont, the chemical owners, wanted to make plastics for World War II. And because you can't own a patent on the plastic that you can make weed from, or plastics that you can make out of weed, they pushed for reefer madness and shit like that to get it outlawed so people couldn't grow hemp anymore. Because hemp was first grown in America, like George Washington or someone said, grow hemp everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can make paper out of hemp. You can do all these various things out of hemp.
Right. You can wear it. You can do everything with it.
Yeah, it's so much better for the environment, and et cetera, et cetera. And so DuPont came along and was like, get that shit out of here. I want to make treads for tanks for World War II. And so that was, or World War I, one of the two, and that was the wrap. So, yep. That's that's part of the race.
Thanks, Ben.
Also, the lock
up 20.
Yeah.
Never forget we also do it to lock up black people, you know.
What about A. King? Let's not forget when was the first time you smoked?
This is a rapper story. So when I was I think I was like 14, maybe 15. My cousin, he lives on Long Island, and he used to run with like the whole Roosevelt, Uniondale crew, whatever. So
for context, in Long Island, in Nassau County, Roosevelt, the neighborhood Roosevelt and parts of Uniondale, that's like the hood. You talk about Roosevelt, Uniondale, but especially Hempstead. Hempstead is like
Hempstead, Long Island.
Yes, Hempstead's the hood. Hempstead's the hood. Like any hood.
Line dance.
So if you're from the boroughs and you go to Long Island, if you knew people in Roosevelt in particular, it was almost like still being in Brooklyn, but with more houses.
Yo,
you know
shouts to Jazz. Shouts to Jazz.
And then,
gang. Yo,
so
he just
funny.
said, let me just say, he just said nasty road crew. We'll get back to that later.
So it's funny that Jazz is in the building because my cousin, so he knew all these guys in that area. So a lot of them used to rap. I don't remember what album it was at the time, but I knew it was something, a dope album was out, and I was in Long Island, and we went, I don't remember whose crib it was, but I know Rock Marciano was there, and a couple other rappers from Long Island or whatever, and he was part of a group at the time as well. And that was the first time I had weed, and when I smoked with them, I tried to act like I did it before, but that was my first time. So, I was clout chasing in real life. And then when we were done, all I know, I couldn't move, bro. I just was stuck. I don't know if it was sativa, indica, mixed, reg, whatever. I don't know what it was, but I know I was gone. And I didn't smoke again maybe about a couple of years later. But that was my first time. It was some rapper weed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I got to tell you some rapper weed. Listen, there's white boy weed and there's rapper weed.
Yo,
for a regular guy like me, I'm good with white boy weed.
I smoke rapper weed.
And what was so crazy was the Long Island cats was different about their weed. Like that was like, it was ritual. It wasn't like they had to go get that shit. They wasn't waiting another day, another 2 days for the connect. They was really doing their due diligence to get that weed.
You saying what as far as traveling down to the city, traveling down.
The way they was acting like weed was cocaine.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of these guys too at the time, they come from Caribbean backgrounds and shit. So like the OG Caribbean parents wasn't trying to hear none of that weed shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of it too. Yeah, it's true. But a lot of it too was different. Like there wasn't a lot of strains out back when I was smoking. Like when I was smoking, I remember they had this infamous chocolate Thai that supposedly I tried, but I don't know. And then the skunk became big. But to be honest with you, I used to get Nick bags like this big.
Premium Pete, shut up.
Yeah.
Premium Pete, shut up because you are a dirt tray bag nigga. I know you tray bag. I know you. I look at you and I know you.
I did pillows.
I know you tray bag. I know you.
No. Nick was the lowest I went.
DC, I thought y'all like when I saw what y'all was smoking like in DC and New York, like the size of the bags, I was insulted. The first time I bought a dime bag in New York, I was so insulted, yo. So in Houston, you buy a dime bag, and it was back then it was a fucking pillow. Like,
Yeah, but it had a lot of seeds and branches.
No, but New York was the same thing. This is before New York was like everybody was smoking all kind of seedless weed. This is when everybody was smoking seeded weed. This when
But I remember one time I used that weed. I put it in there. I didn't clean it up correct, and I remember I loaded it up and I started smoking it. And the seed popped in there. You know what I mean? So people don't know. And then I'll never forget when I met some other dudes that had like this skunk or whatever like this, and I remember I bought a 20 and it only rolled like 2 little joints, and I was like, yo, what the hell? I kind of like what you're saying, Ben, because I'm used to getting for a nickel. I would do 2-3 blunts. You know what I mean?
I used to buy dimes and take them back to Howard and sell them for like 25 and shit.
Damn.
Yeah. I used to fly on the plane with trees all the time back then. That was before 9/11.
You were a transporter?
Oh,
yeah. No. That's not a transporter. It's called a burro.
Yeah, that was just me being personal. I would just, bring weed for myself.
Oh, okay, then that's different. That's different. Then I was
never go full burro.
Yeah, never go full burro.
That's a picture.
Yeah.
We have a picture.
He's on, but he's on. It's a picture.
Morrow, get a different picture up on there.
Man, I said he'll be right back. He had to handle some business.
Morrow looking like he dived into the poutine.
Fender for today.
Shout out to Romy Rome. Rome said that we should share our first edible stories.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Keep it going in the chat. Ask any questions you have down below. Good to see y'all.
Pause it down below. Like, yo, the Zoom meeting, like, its functionality is dope.
So Dallas, somebody wrote back here.
Oh, your mic just Teddy Riley'd you.
Hold on. It says, how about now? Good?
You're lined up now.
Yeah, you better.
Eddie Riley, though.
Somebody wrote, Dallas looks like he has a bottle of Mad Dog in his back pocket right now.
It wasn't even Teddy Riley's fault, yo. He's definitely catching all the L's.
Ah, man, listen.
Yo, hold on. Pete, when we read in the comments, say who it is. Cause that's kind of sus that we not calling out who said these comments. Cause then they're gonna feel some kind of way.
Relax, Kumo D.
They're gonna feel some kind of way.
It's Ada Emperor. I already gave them a bunch of shouts.
It don't matter.
Hold on a second.
If I did that,
interconnected networks, man. The interconnected networks. Shouts to y'all, man. Staying safe out there. Still, we're still COVID, all jokes aside. We're still in this thing right now, trying to figure it out.
Trying to bother me. Meanwhile, he's online looking at, what's her name? Amanda Seals.
That was a good one, Pete. That was a good one. I like that. That was a good one.
Yeah. Remember we called him a bunch of times. Remember, Dallas?
Listen, I like Amanda Seals. I like Amanda Seals.
That was allegedly.
That
never happened.
A-King actually had me reminiscing a couple of nights ago. He found all the sound bites we used to play in the. Remember we used to play like the little like the porn noise or the spiders or the all the little droplets he had. We found them.
We're quarantined now. It's like
send me that shit, King. I need.
I got you right now. Watch this.
Do it.
But memories,
Yeah, it's legit now. It's funny how it was legitimate now. You know what I mean? And,
right.
Here we are still. That's the thing. When you start at the bottom, but then you stay at the bottom. That's why we're the best. We stayed at the bottom.
Dallas, we got questions. Cold kicks. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Yes. Try and pronounce it.
Coke kicks. I don't know. Coke kicks. Yeah.
Does he have cocaine in his kick?
Okay, whatever.
Would you smoke a blunt made by Polo?
No. Why would Polo make a blunt?
Why not?
Would Polo? Why would Polo make a blunt?
Why wouldn't they make?
How's that?
I don't think that I would respect their authority in that area.
But you respect their authority on anything else they make.
What do you mean anything else they make? What else?
That's true. That's true. You know what? That's true.
They make chandeliers.
Mad sus.
You respect the chandelier, don't you? What the fuck does
Polo? Chandelier made by who?
Polo. The one just bought.
No.
Hold on.
Polo doesn't have manufacturers to make chandeliers.
How did
you know what I mean?
Didn't just buy
Polo. Lutron does. Lutron and Polo had a collaboration.
So what if Dutch Masters and Polo had a collab?
Dutch Masters and Polo had a collab. I'd be like, yo, I will fuck with that. I will fuck with that. If White Allen does, if White Allen does, but then again, I would be like, you know what? You know why that's sus? Because White Owl was a bad product.
White Owl's the worst.
White Owl was a bad product.
I smoked a bunch of White Owls in my day.
Shouts to Guru, rest in peace. But that whole they burned much.
Philly was a bad product, but White Owl was the worst.
When Guru said that White Owls burn slower on take two pass.
White Owl could not survive COVID. White Owl would be a blunt with like
White Owl would survive
10 niggas. Imagine a blunt with 10 niggas on it. 10 dirty backpack rap niggas.
That was me in '94. White Owls. The
White
whole
Owl.
fucking Howard dormitory could smoke.
Just use the paper bag from the bodega.
No, them shits is thicker than a paper bag from the bodega. Shits is bulletproof.
Yo, that's
facts.
facts.
White Owl in your pocket so you can survive the shot.
That's facts. That's
You
facts.
got a pack in your shot in your pocket, you good.
Yo.
Buttery OG ass DP, what was the 10-year-old apartment carpet blunt hitting?
There are white folks, and then there are ignorant.
Oh, that was one of the classics. Yo, shouts to my man. Yo, so
shit.
I stayed in a rest in Queens for about 10 years, from high school. So like from 18 to 28, man, I had this apartment. Man, listen, so much horrible shit happened. And when I say horrible, I mean evolutionary growth things. You know what I mean? And that's really when I learned too. The sister, our oldest sister, took care of me. And she was like, yo, stop fucking with that acid. You're going to get a tick that you can't never stop.
10 years old?
No, I wasn't 10.
Okay.
I had this apartment for a run of 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Outside of high school.
Yep.
From 18 to 28, I was in this apartment.
And you was full on wilding in it?
I just grown
A
up.
lot of STDs in that apartment. A lot of STDs.
Yeah. Nah, a lot of, but I found that my mom, of course, did a little bit of decorating, gave me this carpet, this rug that I had in the living room. And that rug had been there for about 6-7 years, whatever. When I finally took it up, there was a big L under it.
Oh.
From like one of them sessions where you be having like 6 L's going around. This shit probably was there though for about 5 years.
And you smoked it.
I smoked it.
Of course.
And how was it?
The shit was definitely dusty.
What was your first reaction? Like when it hit you, what was your,
I was just like, yo, it took me back to that night. You know what I mean? Which is what music does. Anyway, you vibe on some music, you go back to that moment when you first heard it, when it's the jam. Oh man, listen, you was jamming. So yeah, it was dusty. Yo, listen, I don't want to keep people here too long. I know folks got things to do. Yo, let's go with our one of our favorite themes. Black, white, red, brown, and yellow. Tell us the color that fellow. Doom, 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 doom. Okay, boom. Okay. Man arrested. Okay. Man arrested for smoking weed while in court. Okay.
Oh, shit. Wait.
A Tennessee man was arrested after smoking weed while in a court on a marijuana charge.
I'm gonna go white guy. White.
Was that too easy, internet? Was that too easy? All right, let's see. Let's see the.
It was white guy.
What was it?
Yes, it's a white guy. I'm trying to pull up the.
So it's white.
Oh yeah, it's white guy, but yeah.
The privilege of how could you tell me not to smoke while he's getting indicted for another charge?
I can't get the damn thing to come up. All right.
Yeah,
let me see
he's white.
Let me see if the other one will work. Bam. White, black, red, brown, and yellow. Tell us the color that fellow.
Oh, we got a visitor. We got a guest. Just pop.
What up, y'all?
Why does it say A King on there?
Yo.
Shit. Mr. Mike.
Hawaii, what up?
What up?
Yo, somebody said Shaquille O'Neal's podcast plays a game identical to this, and they're claiming they created it.
So
That
means
means
that person is they're a new
they
fan of
call
what
it
we're
black
doing.
crime, white crime.
Well,
Nah.
What up, Mike?
Premium, what's poppin'? What up, Ben?
What's going on? Yo, Mello, somebody changed the name on him. That ain't A King twice.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
King?
I don't know, but whatever.
That's racist, bro.
Yeah. Listen, man.
Yo, A King, how you on here twice, bro?
Oh man, I think you hacked
Black
into
privilege.
my. I think Hawaii might hack into my computer.
Yo, come on, son. I can't even get my billing. Yo, where's my top billing at? Sorry, yo.
What's good though, player? Happy 420.
Happy 420. I'm in a car with somebody else, so we're practicing safety, yo. So pardon the mask.
No worries.
It's all good. It's all good.
You
You're being a responsible man.
Yeah.
I think I've always been a responsible man.
Mhm.
At least I try.
Now, all Hawaii. I mean,
yes, sir.
Do you need to wear a mask inside a car?
Well, because I'm with somebody else.
Okay.
So we're practicing safety because we're not social distancing properly because we're in a car.
Oh, okay.
So yes,
are y'all related?
Huh?
Are y'all not related?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're related to somebody, you shouldn't have to wear a mask in the car, should we?
It depends.
It depends.
If you're hanging out with them,
if you're
already with them, then no. But if you
do
don't,
flu shots?
if you ain't
Good.
like close to them normally, and you like meet up with them in the car, then hell yeah, you got to put a mask on.
Okay.
And you can't. And if you can't account for their whereabouts,
yeah.
I mean, they could be asymptomatic or came into contact with somebody who's asymptomatic, and then you come through, and then now you caught up.
Yeah. My thing is this though. Also, I think my first question now is to anybody that I'm around, like, do you take flu shots? And if you take flu shots, I'm probably a little bit more cautious around you than if you don't.
Right.
Like I've never been a believer in any of the shots that our government tries to give us, especially coming from a poorer community and being around that. Like the rates are kind of like disturbing when you really look at that science. And there's other, again, there's a conspiracy theory for everything. But there's too much information floating around, and I don't really listen to one or the other over others, but I try to kind of piecemeal everything together, and whatever kind of makes the most sense to me, I kind of go with. But there's just too much with this about biological warfare that's been happening and testing and people creating different things from viruses. And so
it's easy enough to do, certainly, but Hawaii,
the flu
good to see you.
Yeah. So yeah. I wish I could smoke with y'all right now. Shit,
I mean, we already, we've already done that. We've already partaken, and we've already, shouts to Hawaii Mike, man, because he was messing with the internet a long time ago, like early weblog days and stuff like that.
Well, I think Dallas, the way we brought up our first question to Mike, because he's been a person who's been smoking, weed for a very, very long time, has been involved in it, has turned it into a business.
Rapper weed,
more
too.
so.
Rapper weed. Internet, when I was saying y'all earlier about rapper weed, Hawaii knows rapper weed well.
but here's the thing, Mike.
There's a difference between rapper weed and white boy weed. Rapper weed is the next level.
But
black boy weed is the lowest level, sadly.
But I'm trying to figure out there's got to be an iller level than white boy weed. I mean, than rapper weed, right? We've gone white boy weed, then we've gone rapper weed. There's got to be another. Hawaii Mike is the chef for hire.
Is rapper weed the highest?
No. Yeah. No, but we're with the chef for hire now. So can we get much higher?
I don't trust podcast weed. Podcast weed.
Podcast weed is heavy plastic.
I don't trust podcasters with weed.
Podcast weed is impossible.
That's pretty low. That's right there with black boy weed.
Can they get their weed from the weed carriers and rappers?
Yes.
They get the maybe it depends on their network.
Here's my thing.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, I'm just trying to get it out. It's just hard. It's hard. I'm not a big fan of Zoom. because it's hard to, you know, without stepping on each other. I'm so used to, I perfected it in studio. For so many people, think about it. You know, now it's like we spoke about this. This is going to change. You know, it's like people aren't going to feel comfortable. People smoke to the head instead of passing it. You know, how do you feel about that moving forward?
So I think the word selfie is going to take on different meanings now. selfie. So selfie was really about me, right? And I think selfie can now change and be more about we, right? Yeah. So instead of saying I'm doing things for self, I'm doing things for self. No, this is myself. Like, look at me, look where I'm at that you're not at. It's going to be like, nah, let me just look at me, so I'm protecting your safety just in case, right? So I think that's a little bit different. So I've been talking about selfie J's now, right? And that's what you're gonna be smoking. You're gonna be smoking selfies, right? You know, like I'm gonna do this for self just to make sure, you know, nobody else gets contaminated, sick, just in case, because who knows, right? So yeah, I think you know, social distancing ciphers maybe, where it's like everybody's smoking their own at a certain amount of feet away. But again, there's so much uncertainty in all of this. I don't know which direction we're gonna go, but I do think it'll be another easy excuse for me to smoke my own shit and be like, yo, like, what you want me to do, bro? I'm trying to protect you right now. Yo, you mad at me because you don't have your own shit? Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, can I say this? Can I say that because of some of the healing properties that have been found in this that are either unpatentable or just unattainable, that's really why they're always trying to regulate this thing, because it's a magic plant that can heal, that can be as hard as steel. You take hemp and you make rope for ships.
Yep.
To go across the ocean.
I mean, so I mean, on that, if you want to get, you know, deeper for a quick second, I mean, you know, for now, we should look at the feelings that we have. Like, you know, I've been talking about the word unity for a while. That's the word that popped in, and there's 13 words. First one I looked at, right? Immunity should show us right now, none of us have it for this, right? We're all susceptible. This is a time where I'm hoping we all feel a little bit more connected. And because of that interconnectivity, like, we should feel that's actually more honest about our truth, because the plant life, like, it's plant medicine. And these plants have been there between psilocybin, mushrooms, and cannabis. Like, that's tons of interconnectivity. Think about, you know, I've probably said to you guys before, but not on this right now. There's nothing else I know that's a greater common denominator with a stranger than cannabis, right? If somebody came to you, ask you for a sip of your drink, and you use your straw, you look at them crazy as fuck. If somebody asks you to take a hit of your joint, you might give it to them and take it back. But what's the difference of putting that straw or that joint on your lips? Nothing, except for what's in that joint, right? And so again, that interconnectivity. So for sure, this is made for us. We have a system of receptors in our bodies to process the
Damn, the ghost of Teddy Riley.
The cannabinoids, like, illness benefits, everything. So
yeah, I mean, your mic dumped you for a second, but
again, my bad.
No. Listen. All of these formats they trying to give us to trying to keep us from connecting, but we still interconnected.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Networks are still interconnected. Internet. Hawaii, man. We was running this thing, man, called black, white, red, brown, and yellow. And it's just like we look at the news item and we try to figure out if that person in the news item, are they black, white, red, brown, or yellow?
Sounds very racist. I like it.
No. No race.
Oh, it's quite racist.
Black, white, brown, yellow. Tell us the color that fellow. Like, is that a rockabilly guitar? I'm trying to figure out what guitar strum.
Mello has the theme for it.
Yeah, got to be rockabilly with some drums.
Yeah. Okay, NFL player arrested for allegedly possessing marijuana.
Black.
NFL player was arrested.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Can I say why?
Any arrest with cannabis, you have a 4-to-1 chance of that person being of color.
Of course.
So odds are, yeah. NFL.
Hawaii is also evidently a betting man, so Hawaii is definitely the guy to fuck with.
But DP, before you continue, the reason why I said that is because a lot of these athletes, what they're doing is they're in cities where weed is legal.
Yeah.
So they just be moving around, not realizing, oh shit, because they're so accustomed to, you know, these behaviors in their cities that they're in. So they're traveling in and out, and they're like, oh shit, I forgot. This state is not legal yet. And then they get caught with the shit. But go ahead.
Okay. One more. Last one.
Yep.
Blacks, whites, red, browns, and yellows. Tell us the color of this fellow. Okay. Okay. Dogs credited with busting 2 men in Connecticut with 420 pounds of marijuana.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Like, hold on for a second. Just check that headline again for a second. Dogs credited with busting 2 men in Connecticut with 420 pounds of marijuana.
Yeah,
that's close to the Super Troopers. Like, that's like the area of Super Troopers. So that's some, that corridor. That's some light shit.
Yeah, and I used to have a German Shepherd that when I came home with trees in my pocket, it would run up to my pocket and start sniffing me. I hated that dog. I loved him, but God damn it. My parents were right there. It's so obvious.
2 men were stopped in a truck containing 420 pounds of weed.
Super Troopers.
Arrest, thanks to Connecticut State Troopers and a canine unit that's winning praise for sniffing it all out. Yeah. Connecticut State Police couldn't resist sharing a message on Twitter. When something don't smell right, the big dogs were called in.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that's white. No, it might be black. They wanted to insult them even more.
They would have killed them, though.
That was definitely.
Say what?
They would have let the dog bite them.
True. But they just might not have included that in the story.
What did you go? What did we go with? Black?
I'm gonna go against the grain and go black.
Yeah, white.
Okay. Not black, not white, but brown.
I knew it. I knew it was somewhere in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And also, the dogs are also brown also.
Oh, look at the pups.
That was brown on brown. That was brown on brown crime right there.
Those are some cute dogs, too.
That was brown on brown crime right there.
I expect the German Shepherd, but those are nice dogs.
So, I mean, Hawaii, as we were socially tilting towards legislation that would have legalized cannabis use recreationally, less restrictions medicinally, we come into this new space, new society right now. And it was interesting that I've seen several people outside smoking cigarettes.
Yep.
What kind of space do you think this holds for weed's legalization or continued legalization? Does this halt it? Does this situation halt it?
I think it adds something to the conversation, like, because the like Governor Gavin Newsom in Cali made it so it is an essential business, but I think other states were kind of fighting it. So I think that's something that's going to come up to the table as far as legislation and trying to move this forward to get this legalized. Now, again, in a situation like a pandemic, they kind of want you to be in fear. That's part of the agenda, right? And if cannabis helps with anxiety and other things in your emotional mindset, then I'm not sure if they're going to actually want that, right? And so I don't know if they're going to push for that. So talking about a government has a patent on cannabis as a neuroprotectant, but it's illegal. It's illegal. So, it's different.
So we're in a brave new world, essentially.
Yeah, we're in a new world where we're rewriting everything. Like, we get to rewrite We get to rewrite the rules, the regulations. We get to rewrite everything at this point. That's opportunity, right? That's opportunity, right? An opportunity is another word with unity, right? And if we communicate unity, we build community. So,
community.
Exactly.
Yep. Facts.
But shit, let me. I gotta go run into this club and go make some chicken real quick, y'all.
That's peace. Hawaii, stay safe out there. Good to see you.
Peace.
Looking good.
Happy 420 again, man.
For sure. Happy
Chef for hire, internet. Chef for Hawaii. Chef for hire, Hawaii. Can we get much higher?
Chef for higher.
420. We still in 420, y'all.
Got me. All right, y'all.
All right, peace. Internet.
If I learn how to get out of here.
All right, now.
Later.
Dallas.
There you go.
Wrap it up, B.
Yeah. Ben, you got somewhere to go, Ben?
Yeah, man, I gotta go DJ later on.
Okay, Ben. So good, Ben. Don't let us hold you hostage, Ben.
I mean,
it doesn't stop.
Okay, y'all gonna keep going?
Yeah. Nah, we gonna just wind it down.
All right.
And then we're gonna migrate over to your live, man.
Yeah.
Like we did once upon a time at SOBs.
That was more than a migration.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. If we make it past 5 episodes, we might revisit that story.
No, that's a Patreon only. We got to get $1,000.
Yeah, we got to get some coin. We got to get some coin for that.
We got to get some coin for that one. Oh.
Yeah.
Man, what up, Carly?
Shout out.
Internet. I mean, listen.
What you drinking over there, Pete?
Sangria.
Oh, you in sangria mode today?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it room temperature or is it cold?
It's actually with no ice, so it's room temperature. I usually like it with ice, but I don't have any more fruit. We got a new shipment I'm going to pick up tomorrow. I've been doing like the pickups, and so I got a bunch of new fruits: mangoes, grapes, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, etc.
And what do? You juice with them?
No, I put them in my sangria. The fuck is your juice? I'm gonna get high.
Off the sangria.
Well, you know what I mean. Not high, but meaning like,
nice.
Catch you. Yeah, get nice, and
nice.
For me, I don't smoke no more, so it's a good thing,
Nice.
Yo, I was on the phone with Pete a few days ago, and he was going to pick up some grub that he had ordered. Mm-hmm. And I felt his pain through the phone because I guess he thought that he was gonna pull up, go to the front door and get his shit. But there was so many people at the door waiting on their shit, but they wasn't social distancing. So Pete, I'm on the phone with Pete. Pete's in the car, and he's just losing his biscuit. Like, yo, this is not even a quick fix because you got to wait. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to get caught up with these people and they're not wearing no mask or, you know what I'm saying, or gloves or anything. But it's like, even with that, there's still concerns. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't even safe to go pick up your shit.
Yeah, I mean, just to elaborate on what King was saying, I mean, he heard it live. I mean, I ordered some sushi. It was only able to be picked up. And I wanted to support my local restaurant that I always go to. Anybody that messes with me know I'm always eating sushi. And when I got there, I guess they closed the door, Dallas. And what they did was they had a window. You know what I mean? Is Dallas still there?
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
Oh, they had a window, but dudes were out there, and it's funny that we even asked like somebody like Hawaii Mike, because I do believe there'll be a lot of people that don't really pay attention. Not meaning Hawaii Mike, but meaning like, I mean, I've seen these guys have masks. Some guys didn't have masks, and they were like literally like standing in line. When I say in line, I'm talking about like on people's necks. I would have been like, yo, back up off me, man. So I'm over there looking in the car. I'm like, yo, I might get out. So I was supposed to pick up my order at 6 o'clock. Now it's 6:15, 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock. I'm like, I'm trying to call them. They're not answering the phone. I'm like, yo, King, I might get out. And the problem that I was dealing with was Friday night, and every 5 minutes a new car would pull up. and somebody would come out. So say if there's two guys, it's like, okay, maybe if they get their food, I can run up and be like, yo, it's me, because they know me, and get my food. I already paid for it. Every time that happened, somebody else pulled up. You know what I mean? So it was crazy, man. It was crazy, but I was able, thank God, shout to Backdoor, pause. They called me back, and I was like, yo, it's crazy up there. And, you know, am I able to get it through the back door? Like, can you meet me back there? And she was like, no problem. You know what I mean?
It's crazy, man.
I got it. Took me an hour, but I got it the way I wanted. You know what I mean?
Right. Damn, it's crazy. DP, what are you trying to do? A background?
No, I think he bounced out, and that's his profile pic.
You see?
I don't know. Fuck you, P. And you, Ben Hameen, too.
All right. Well, love to both of y'all, but I'm gonna get up out of here too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We gonna
the internet podcast. It doesn't even end. It doesn't even end like some regular podcast.
It just ends.
Internet. Happy 420.
Yeah,
See you next week. I don't even know what's going on with this internet podcast, but I'll be here chopping it up with these fucking birds and getting in touch with people across the world. So stay safe. Peace and blessings.
Peace. Good ending. Thank you.